the Everything But Politics podcast.
Welcome back, guys, to episode number 68 of the Everything But Politics podcast. On today's episode, we have a rising star joining us. This young man led my alumni to their best record since 1998, was awarded the 2023 Freshman Offensive Player of the Year, won the Alamo Bowl versus the Oklahoma Sooners, and has the second longest active win streak in college football after the Michigan Wolverines, who just won the national championship this past Monday. Noah Fifita, welcome to the Everything But Politics podcast, my man.
I appreciate y'all having me on. 68 episode. That's big time.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us. No, let's start with this, right? Your life obviously has changed a lot in a short amount of time. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I can tell you firsthand, as an Arizona football fan, my life has changed too since September. You and I both know Tucson gets behind the Cats, gets behind really any even when they're not good, they get behind the team. When you are on campus, anywhere in Tucson, you're at the dinner, how has your life changed to what it was even just in August?
It's changed a little bit. I was always with T-Mac, so he's kind of been a big name for the last 2 years. So people coming up to take pictures with him. But like you said, Tucson's real supportive. They love their sports. They love football. I think that they've been wanting football to be good for a long time. So now that we've been able to win some games, they've been even more happy. So we appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. It's been a good ride, but God willing, we're just getting started.
No doubt about it. So Noah, my senior year, which I just told you prior to us going live, 2022, I guess the 2021 season, they went 1-11. The only win came against Cal. And really, it was at that time, it was strictly basketball school. And now you see like the tweets, the Instagrams, everything school. How does that make you feel?
It's awesome. And we're real supportive of our basketball team. Obviously, we're rooting for them. Shoot, we got a real good basketball team.
Yes, they do.
Probably a favorite to win March Madness in March. So we're real supportive of them. But I would be lying if I said that it's not super awesome. It makes us super happy to see everybody real supportive of our football team as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Noah, when you made the decision to go to Arizona, what other schools were you looking at? And was it an immediate decision, like I'm going to Arizona, or did it take some thought?
Yeah, so my recruitment was a little slower than most people, but I had most of the Mountain West offers, and then I had Idaho State. Cal Berkeley came in and offered me, and then when Coach Fisch got to Arizona in January of 2021, I believe, he offered me as well. So I don't think I committed for probably 3 months after he offered me. So it was a slow process, but it was kind of they showed me they wanted me for me, and they would text me every day. They would call me. They showed their true colors in terms of showing how respectful they were, their loyalty as people, and then obviously their resume as coaches. So it was a slow journey, but everything worked out, and I'm happy to be here.
Totally. And Noah, as you and I both know, a lot of kids at the U of A come from Orange County. Did you know kids that maybe went to U of A and were pushing you like, hey, bro, come on, come be a part of this? Or was there any of that going on? Or was it just you visited one day and you said, this place is for me?
Yeah, so that was a weird time because we were just coming out of COVID. So everything was kind of locked down. We didn't have no visits scheduled. We were just playing my junior season, which was weird because we started my junior season in March in March of 2021 instead of August of 2020. So that was a weird year for us. So I actually didn't even take a visit before I committed. I ended up just committing to Arizona. I took a visit a couple months after I committed, but from what you said in terms of a lot of people being from Orange County, a lot of people being from California, I didn't really know anybody that came to Arizona. So I didn't have any influence from any alumni or people that I knew. It was kind of a decision that me and my family made based off of Coach Fisch.
And obviously going 10-3 this season, when you were being recruited, what initially was like, okay, this is for me? Like, was this 10-3 season and the success that's to come, was this push on you? Like, listen, this is the vision and this is what we're going to be doing here in the next few years.
Yeah, and Coach Fish had that vision. That's what Coach Fish kind of I would say he expected, and that expectation led to the team before this season. But the reason I committed was for Coach Fish and Coach Doherty, the quarterback coach. Their loyalty to me. They came to me when they first got the job at Arizona. I was the first quarterback they recruited. I was the only quarterback they recruited in my class. So you look at the resume for Coach Fish, where he's been, the coaches he's coached for, the teams he's coached for, the connections he has. That's amazing in itself. And then you add the type of person he is. I committed to Coach Fish and I committed to Coach Doherty, and I committed to them for the people and the coaches that they were, and the successes just come.
Yeah, I love Coach Fish. Just like I obviously have never met him, but the videos of him, like just the way he gets the team fired up is so inspiring.
Yeah, he's a great coach, better person.
I'd love to hear that. So back when you were being recruited, your scout grade was a 76. You at the time, were you a little disrespected by that?
To be honest, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
My scout grade.
Like the ESPN ranking or rating, like out of 100.
Oh, I mean that's expected. At the end of the
Okay.
day, I'm not 6 foot. The prototype quarterback's 6 foot, and it's starting to go down a little bit, but still to this day, I still don't beat the quota for what a quarterback looks like. So that's been the story of my life, being overlooked. But I don't see it as disrespectful. I just see it as a an opportunity to prove people wrong.
Almost like okay, watch this type of attitude.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
hungry dogs move faster, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, let's talk about the Alamo Bowl. I mean, what a momentum change at the end of that third quarter, start of the fourth. How was that experience once it was over and you guys got that dub on an amazing comeback?
That after the game, it was just joy and excitement.
Absolutely.
That's might be one of the best games I've been a part of in terms of how I felt after the game. When the dust settled, you I kind of forgot about everything that happened during the game. I was just kind of in the moment, enjoying the celebration, enjoying the team. Obviously, that was our last game that all got to play together. Lost a lot of key guys, a lot of great people. So enjoying that last moment in the locker room, enjoying that last moment on the field, and then my family got to run on the field as well. So that's probably the biggest game I've played in my life, and one of the best feelings I've had after a game.
Yeah, like I told you over messages. I was at the game. It was I've never been to a game like that in my entire life. I mean, just from obviously getting off to that hot start with your pass to Cowing, and then kind of going down a little bit. At one point it was 24-13. And then right at the end of that third quarter, you felt the energy in the arena. It was Arizona fans they were seated. There was not much energy in the building until the pick six, and then everything changed.
It was awesome. It was a great game. That's why football's the best sport because it's a team game, and that game was a story of highs and lows. From us going up 13-0 to going down 14-13 at halftime, and then they come out swinging. It looks like it's about to be 27-13, and all of a sudden Dalton and Gunner make the play of the game to be able to get us right back into it going into the fourth quarter. But it's
Well,
been
not only that, then the very first play of the fourth quarter, another pick to just
my
totally raised all the energy in the building.
Yeah, and man, that whole atmosphere was so awesome. They always talk about how Arizona loves their sport, how Tucson loves their football, and they showed out. So we appreciate all the support. And I know, especially in that game, but all season we wouldn't be able to do it without y'all support, without y'all energy.
Totally. And so before the game, me and a few friends that were in town, we were at that hotel. I think it was the Marriott you guys were staying at. And even just the support from the fans there was crazy. As you guys were coming down the escalator and stuff, what was the mood? Like, were you guys like, oh, it's almost fucking game time here?
Yeah, we were in that mood going into because at the end of the day, we waited 3 weeks or shoot 4 weeks since the ASU game going into that game. So a lot of riled up energy, a lot of just emotion that we were ready to let out. It was tough to be able to have to wait for 4 weeks to be able to go play in a game that was so hyped up. Then we got to San Antonio 5 days before the actual game, so a lot of emotions, a lot of excitement going into the game, and then we go into our last team meeting. We walk out the team meeting, and I don't think anybody knew that all of our fans were down there, leading us to the bus. So that was kind of a shocker to me, but just kind of seeing that just made it that much more exciting, and it was that was a great moment for this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And what
No,
is the Alamo Dome the largest stadium you've ever played in?
The Alamo that had I think 60,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
I'm sure we played it. I think the Rose Bowl seated more. I don't think they had more people in there, but
yeah,
the Rose Bowl's probably the biggest stadium. But that was probably I would say that one was probably the best atmosphere.
yeah, totally. It was crazy.
and Noah, do you have any like pregame rituals that you do for every game?
Just kind of seeing my family before the game, throughout the entire day leading up, and then seeing them. They're the last people I see before I walk into the stadium. I don't have too many rituals. Kind of, um, I'm a routine guy, so my warm up's always the same. Me and T Mac will have the same warm up once we get on the field, but not too many rituals, I would say.
No,
But and you've mentioned T Mac a few times now throughout this podcast. What's your relationship like? Because obviously you've known each other for a long time, but since getting out to Tucson, how has your relationship evolved?
Our relationship's been great, kind of all throughout our life. I met him in eighth grade. We played on the same youth football team, and then that led us into high school and now college. But what you see on the field, that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of our relationship, I would say. That's pretty much my best friend. We're kind of together all the time, so that's my boy. We have a podcast together that we like that we've been doing, and then just kind of this whole story it's been a great ride.
yeah, and God willing, you guys will be on the same NFL team.
God willing.
Yeah.
Totally. So tell us about this podcast of yours, because I noticed that you guys have some really, some great quality, some good clips you guys got coming out from your show. What was the inspiration for creating that?
So the inspiration was with NIL coming out and with our story of playing eighth grade together, going to high school, and then now playing at the college level. There's not too many, if any, people that have the same story as us, being able to play with each other at all three levels and playing at the highest level at all three levels. So being on the same Power Five team, that's a blessing in itself. But being able to showcase our relationship, showcase our um personalities outside of football. That's kind of how it started, being able to help build our brand in this world where you can monetize off of your name, image, and likeness. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as we've grown, we've kind of gotten a little more comfortable, a little better. And now we're at a spot that we've talked about where this spring, because we're not in season, we have an opportunity to do something that nobody's been able to do, and that's kind of bring together not only a football team, but we're able to bring together a university. So we have some big plans coming up, and it's going to start with interviewing guys on our team. Then we'll be able to bring on some athletes from other sports. So probably the basketball team, we're going to try to get some of their players on coming up, and then even just into everyday life. Frat presidents, sorority presidents, to the average student. So we have a plan that should take off coming up shortly, and we'll see. We're excited about it.
And I see the sign behind you. You want to plug your podcast out?
Yeah, yeah. So our podcast is Island Time in the Desert with Noah and T-Mac. So y'all can follow us on Instagram at Island Time Pod, and then just be able to follow from there.
Hell yeah.
And for our listeners, can you kind of explain like how the NIL works and how you guys can kind of benefit from that?
Yeah, I can explain it to the best of my ability. So NIL is pretty much it stands for name, image, and likeness, and it's a new thing. I believe it started in 2021. So basically, before 2021, college athletes couldn't monetize from their brand and from their name, image, and likeness. So they couldn't. That's kind of why the whole NCAA game went down, is because they were using players' names and their image, but not paying the players. So that's kind of how it all started. I don't know too much about it. I don't really get wrapped up in all of that stuff, but it definitely, with NIL, with the transfer portal, it changed college football.
Well,
Change all college sports.
that was perfect example for our listeners who, really know nothing about college football and just like listening about everything. So thank you.
All right. So we talked about Coach Fisch not too long ago, but something we didn't talk about is preparation. Obviously, you do podcasts, so you prepare for those, you prepare for games, you prepared for the Alamo Bowl. What have you learned from Coach Fisch about preparation that you use? I mean, not only as a football player and a podcast host, but as a young man, learning and trying to get better every day.
I don't prepare well for podcasts at all. Y'all, preparation it shows that you guys do a good job with that just from the intro. So, I definitely need to do a better job in that aspect. But not Coach Fish is he's a master planner and he doesn't just prepare for games. He prepares for games better than any coach that I've been around. He watches more film. He breaks things down more than I've ever seen, and it shows on game days. And I think the best example I have is the Utah game coming out of the first quarter. We had a play call that we were gonna run for the first play of the second quarter, and right before we went out there, Coach Fish called me back and he told me that we're gonna run a screenplay to Mike Wiley because one of Utah's tendencies was they like to bring pressure on to start a quarter. So we ended up going out there. And right when I got up to the line, I saw them start to bring pressure. And the first thing I thought was, how did Coach Fish know that? And we ended up hitting
Yeah.
Mike. We ended up hitting Mike, and he goes and scores a 30-yard touchdown to extend our lead to 28-0. So Coach Fish's preparation is second to none. And I've kind of tried to take his film study and his routines and how he watches film. I try to take that and implement it into my own preparation.
But and as you know, the starting quarterback, how many hours a week are you watching film? Because I feel like that's very if you're like your average fan on the outside looking in, you don't even realize like the homework that goes into it. So can you kind of give us a little behind the scenes of what that's like?
Yeah, I don't really track hours. I don't really keep track of how much film I'm watching, but it's definitely a lot. Shoot, I like to wake up at 8. I don't wake up too early. I get to the facility at about 9 o'clock every day, and then I'm there until 8 or 9 at night. So, whether that's practice and meetings or if it's lifting and treatment, and then whatever time I get on my own to watch film, that's kind of my everyday routine, and uh, it's worked up to this point.
And the thing about Coach Fish is, if you look at his resume, he's worked under Bill Belichick, Sean McVay, Jim Harbaugh. I mean, the wisdom he probably holds that you're able to soak in has got to be just like each day you're probably like, damn, this is crazy.
Well, that's a resume we was talking about. He's
Yeah.
he's worked to get under the top guys. You name a guy in the NFL that is at the top of the game right now, and Coach Fish has some type of connection to him. And you see the people that come to Tucson to come watch our practices and to come support us. It's crazy from Zach Taylor and Sean McVay to Bill Belichick and Brian Billick. So his resume speaks for itself.
Who are some NFL coaches that you kind of look up to and is inspired to like maybe play for them one day?
I don't really have any, to be honest with you. There's a lot of great minds. And shoot, my whole thing has just been any team you could play for, that'd be a blessing.
Absolutely.
No doubt. No doubt. And who are not coaches, but who are some quarterbacks that you look up to? It's like, ooh, I like the way he does that. I could maybe use that this weekend.
Growing up was always Russell Wilson. That's kind of who I modeled my game after growing up.
Ooh,
Uh,
I
once
see
I
that.
once I got to high school, Bryce Young was the was the king of high school when I was a freshman and sophomore. So watching him, I played against him his senior year, and then watching him at Alabama was that was special. And then this year I try to model my game after Brock Purdy. I've been a big fan of
Okay.
Brock.
Yeah,
I've been a big fan of Brock Purdy. Just the way he controls the game, the way he plays in the system. People say he's a system quarterback, but I think the way he just manages the game, he doesn't take any risks and just gets the ball to his playmakers. And that's kind of how I try to play as well.
And in terms of the athleticism and shiftiness, I see a little Kyler Murray also.
Yeah, I like Kyler Murray. I watched him a little bit. But like I said, I think Brock Purdy he plays the game the right way.
I'd love to hear that. So let's talk. Yeah, excuse me. Let's talk some Super Bowl then. Obviously, a month from now, you think that's the team?
You asked the wrong person because I'm a Ravens fan, so I,
Okay.
I I'm gonna be super biased in that phase. I think the Ravens gonna win it all.
we like the
But
Ravens.
what was that?
We're rooting for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a big Ravens fan. So that's who I got.
A SoCal kid become a Ravens fan?
My uncle played for the Ravens in '08.
Oh,
Oh,
So he
nice.
played he played for the Ravens and then he flew us out, and I got to have I gotta have lunch with Ed Reed and
Oh,
Halotti and guys like that. So grew up watching the Ravens and then just been a fan ever since then.
that's awesome. So okay. No, put yourself in the shoes of that. What, 2008? How old are you? 5 years old?
Yeah.
So you're 5 years old, 2008, and I can think back to, being a young kid and looking up to, like, guys of that stature, even college kids. How does it feel now to be in the position, go back to being that young kid, and your dad's taking you to Arizona football games and you're QB1, like they remember that shit forever. Is that, I don't know if that's ever crossed your mind, but like that's gotta feel surreal.
It's awesome, and it's a full circle effect, and that's kind of the best part about it. The fans and all of that stuff playing in front of thousands of fans, great, but the little kids, the way they look up to you, the smiles that they make when you just go and give them a high five, that's the best part about it.
Dude, that's such a cool feeling.
No, it's great for sure.
Awesome.
No, let's talk a little bit about the Pac-12 moving to the Big 12. So you guys will have a different schedule next year, and then you have the playoffs opening up to 12 teams. It kind of looks like you guys were right on that 10 to 15 spot. If it was this year, you guys could have been in that playoff. So very exciting. What is like the plan going forward to next year's team and the preparation you guys do during this off season?
Yeah, it's for us, we're kind of we're in a meeting because we're trying to carry the energy and the carry the momentum that we finished with last year. It's a 7 game win streak. We don't shy away from that, being able to carry that confidence, carry that mentality into the off season and just building on it so that we can just continue to use it to motivate us going into next year. But at the same time, we understand that it's a new year. It's a new team. It's a new year. We're in a new conference, new playoff format. So there's a lot of new things, and we're trying to put. We're not trying to be content from what we accomplished last year. Last year's last year. This is a new year, so it's a fresh start. So we're trying to get back to work. We just got back in Tucson this week, trying to get back to work, and we're excited about what the future holds.
It's like what your boy John Harbaugh says, 1-0 each week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like that motto a lot. So speaking of the Big 12 though, coming up, you just beat Oklahoma on their last ever game as a Big 12 team. That's gotta be pretty cool.
Yeah, and not even the fact that they're leaving the Big 12. It's anytime you get a big bowl win's great. The Alamo Bowl in particular is a very big bowl game, and then Oklahoma is just a prestigious program in itself. So being able
Totally.
to beat a team like that, that's big time.
So let's rephrase that. How does it feel to be the last ever Arizona quarterback with a W? What, as a Pac-12 team?
I never thought about that one, but it's cool.
It is cool. But it's gonna be very exciting, this Pac-12. You got schedule's obviously different. Obviously it's a young team. No one really a lot of these teams haven't seen each other. Houston recently joined the conference, UCF, BYU. It's very different. I like you said, long way until the fall, but when does the tape start being watched? When do you guys start to kind of keep your eyeballs open on what's going on around the Big 12?
I think that's a coach's job, and I think that they'll probably start once they're done recruiting. So
True.
we'll start a recruiting phase starting tomorrow actually, and they'll start recruiting, trying to find guys to bring into the program. But I'm sure we'll start briefly watching some of the Big 12 opponents. But like I said, the whole message and the whole thing about the winter and the winter conditioning is just it's about us and just honing in on our craft, being the best team we could be, and figuring out our identity and who we are as a team.
How does your training change from January to what it would be like in October? You can't be lifting heavy weight then opposed to now, correct?
It's a little different. I think now is really getting back in shape, getting stronger, getting faster. I believe we have a great strength staff, and it starts at the top with Tyler Owens. That's our head strength coach, all the way down to our quarterback specific guys, Aaron Bros, and that's the one that works with me the most. So I got to give him a shout out. But uh, and just kind of listening to their plan, we trust them. There's a reason that we've been able to make the jumps that we've made over the past 3 years that they've been here. So they get a lot of credit for that as well. So pretty much whatever formula they put in, that's the formula that we're gonna follow and trust that it'll take us where we want to be.
Nice. And for you personally, are you trying to, get faster, get a little thicker? What's your physically, what are you looking to do this offseason?
Yeah, definitely get faster. That's a big thing for me. It's always been a big thing for me. And then shoot, probably trying to put on a little more weight, and being able to hold that weight throughout this winter.
What does that mean? Like 4 or 5 meals a day?
Nah, nah, nah. For me, it's just being more consistent in meals and eating healthier, so that'll be good.
Okay.
But I don't got 4 or 5 meals in me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's some big. Those are guys protected.
Yeah, yeah, they got that.
Okay. So no, another thing that I think kind of goes kind of is water under the bridge in a sense is that a lot of teams just really in all sports talk about love and brotherhood, but as someone like myself from the outside looking in, it seems like that you guys actually have that. Can you speak on the brotherhood that's been formed over these last few months?
It's been special, and obviously this is only my second year of college, so it doesn't say much for me to say it, but I truly do believe it hasn't been like that in the past, and I don't think that's normal for a college team to be as close as we were, and that a lot of credit goes to Coach Fish and the coaching staff because they're the ones that set the culture. Um, and then the people that we brought in have been great people as well, but that starts now. Obviously, it's a new team, got some new freshmen, new transfers that have already come in, so being able to just start building that relationship now. But I mean, I think it shows how much fun we have on the field. It shows that we play for each other, and it shows that when things aren't going well, nobody doubts each other, and we continue to keep playing.
Well, and for you guys to have that so early on and to be returning 17 of 22 starters, there's a lot to be excited about.
Not definitely, and we got some great people that just came in the building, from our freshmen to our transfers. So we look forward to continuing to build these relationships on and off the field.
Well, so excited to hear that. So excited for this fall. I know you're busy, but before we let you go, I want to do a little rapid fire with you, if that's all right.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. Who in the locker room is getting the aux?
Who will lock again? Definitely not Jonah Coleman. I would give it to T-Mac.
Okay. What's the pregame meal?
My pregame meal: spam, eggs, and
Ham
rice.
and eggs. Okay.
Okay.
And favorite restaurant in Tucson?
I'm gonna have to go with the spot that I eat at every day, Bear Down Kitchen.
All right, classic. Okay. Weights or cardio?
Weights
Yeah,
for sure.
that's an easy one. And we touched on this briefly, but what is the goal as we look ahead to this fall of 2024?
We don't want to look ahead too early, but everything that we're working towards is a national championship. So we're
Yep.
setting our sights high, and we're excited to see where it goes.
Noah, thank you so much for coming on the Everything But Politics podcast. Wishing you an extremely productive offseason and can't wait to watch you and the boys this fall.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Noah. We'll
Y'all have
talk.
a good one.
You win that national championship.
Bear down,
Yes,
guys.
sir. Appreciate y'all.
See you guys.